seems to me that a lot of times y'all been talking about those tough losses.
Well, hello there, Blazers fans. Welcome into another edition of Blazers Game Day here, an early afternoon. Happy whatever day it is. We've all reached that point, right? We've all reached the point where we don't know what day of the week it is because everything's just thrown together. The holidays mess with you, and you're like, yeah, sure. It's a Tuesday. My kids aren't even in school. You got to have the kids in school. That's how you know when Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday come around. Like when you're on vacation, anyone else stressed out? They're like, is it garbage night tonight? Like, is it Sunday? No, it's not Sunday, I assure you. It's Wednesday, New Year's Eve. So hopefully everyone's getting ready to watch a little Blazer basketball and celebrate as we turn the calendar to 2026 at midnight. And it should be a fun one for your Blazers tonight as they are in Oklahoma City for game one of a 3-game road trip taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will then head to New Orleans and San Antonio before returning home. And as Michael Shacker's playing, here comes the sun because it is a beautiful day out there. It may be a late December winter day, a little chilly, but the sun is shining and it is beautiful. But welcome into Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up at the text line, 88528, or go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the conversation there. And to my wife who texts me, oh, is that the new studio? Sure is. Sure is. We are here. Moved a little bit, a little bigger studio. Now we still got to take the time to decorate it, get it all caught up, but it is beautiful. It's nice. Shout out to our engineer, Joe, for doing all the hard work, getting it ready to go. Speaking of hard work, the Blazers put in some hard work over the last few games. They salvaged what started out as a rough homestand, 5 games, and everyone was really on the train of, oh, sweet, they're back home. This is nice. They spent so many games on the road that a chance to get some of that home cooking, as you say, it's got to be good. It's absolutely got to be good. But it wasn't as advertised. It took a little time to get going. And really, the Blazers kind of struggled. You got the game against Detroit, take a tough loss. You got a game against Orlando, take a tough loss. You got a game against the Celtics. Yeah, we know what happened there. But then you bounce back. You sit there and you're like, there's no way. There's no way they're going to win this game. Boston's coming to town and things are going to get rough. And no, they get that game. And then Dallas comes to town and you're like, okay, if you play the way you played against the Celtics, you're going to win this Mavericks game handily. And the Mavericks tried to make it a tough game. The Blazers tried to give it away, but they didn't, and they got the victory over Dallas 125-122. So after losing to Detroit, Orlando, and the Clippers, You back it up. You win 2 games. It's not a 3-2 trip or a 4-1 homestand, but you know what? You salvaged it and you played well. And quite frankly, you were getting great performances from some end of the bench guys that you absolutely sit there and go, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Guys like Caleb Love, who was sensational over those last 2 games, who quite frankly, Blazers might not win those games if it wasn't for performances like Caleb Love's, who was efficient and hitting the three-point shot and playing good defense. Even though he's not touted as a great defender, he was getting it done. And you got to give him props for that. You take a look at what happened in this game against Orlando. Again, the Blazers, they tried to give it away. They tried to give it away, despite the fact that they went and dropped 75 points in the first half alone, the second highest first half of the season. And they grabbed 42 in the first quarter. That was the highest scoring first quarter of the season, the second highest scoring quarter overall. Orlando lost. You need to come out fast. We need to come out ready. And they came out fast against the Clippers. No loss. You need to come out fast. We need to come out ready. And they came out fast against the Clippers. They just weren't able to sustain it. They came out fast against the Celtics, despite the fact it was a sloppy game. They were still playing with that sense of urgency. Kept it for all 48 minutes, and they won that game. And then they kept it for all 48 minutes in this one, despite the fact, again, mistakes kind of reared their ugly little head in the second half. A 42-point first quarter, a 33-point second quarter did not eclipse 30 in either of the final 2 quarters, but they held on for a 125-122 victory. Taking a look at the box score, some good defense on Cooper Flagg held him to 6 of 20 shooting, including just 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. He did have 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 15 points. 17 points from Daniel Gafford. 8 points from PJ Washington Jr., which is a good job by this Blazers team. He dropped over 20 against them in Dallas a few weeks ago. Max Christie was hot. He had 25 points. Brandon Williams chipped in 22 points. Najee Marshall had 17, and Klay Thompson had 14 off the bench as well. So there was some balanced scoring there. But on the Blazers side of things, everyone was contributing the way they needed to. Tumani Kamara, he did have foul trouble, so he only played 25 minutes, but he scored 9 of the team's first 16 points. It was the only 9 points he would score the rest of the way. Ended with 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. But as I said, foul trouble just hindered him a little bit. Sissoko had 6 points and 4 rebounds. He also had 5 fouls. He played just 21 minutes, so foul trouble hampered him a bit. He was starting in place of the injured Chris Murray, who had been starting in place of the injured Jeremy Grant, because the injury bug continues to attack this Portland team. But then the rest of the lineup, Donovan Clingan, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 7 defensive, 4 offensive. So a good game from him. 27 points from Denny Avdia to go along with 11 assists and 9 rebounds. Should have been 10. I don't know why the NBA took away that final one. We wanted that triple-double. 24 points from Shaedon Sharpe. He was 9 of 23 shooting, so it wasn't the most effective day, but he was scoring. That's what they needed to do. And then we talked about an efficient game and a solid game from Caleb Love. 24 points off of the Trailblazers bench. He was 8 of 15 from the floor, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, 2 of 2 from the free throw stripe. He also had 3 rebounds and 2 assists. So Caleb Love is slowly becoming the love of Rip City, pun intended, because this is a guy who was undrafted. You get the 2-way deal. You're like, there's no way he's going to contribute. And we've seen the bad Caleb Love, right? Caleb Love, as we joke about, and Coach Tiago Splitter has joked about too, he's never seen a shot that he does not like. If the ball is in his hand, he will shoot that basketball. Well, we've seen the nights where he does that and he goes, 0 for 10, 2 for 15, what have you. Over the last few games, though, he's found that consistency, which is exactly what you want to see from him. And when he plays like that, brings it on the defensive end, it's nice to have a guy that you can rely upon. I hope he continues to build on this and just become a reliable shooter, because if he does, it's a very, very good thing for this Portland Trailblazers team. Now, you saw it play out over the entire home stretch, and you saw it play out in this game in particular as well, that this team is obviously in need of their healthy guards to get back. They need Scoot. They need Drew Holiday. They need Dame, even though he's not playing this year. We know that. But the team looks drastically different when Denny Avdia subs out because he has had the main job of running the offense as the point, even though he's not a point guard. That's been his job. And when he subs out, it goes to Shea or Caleb Love, and then you kind of lose movement in the offense. So it's obvious they need a point guard. But I do look at Caleb Love as a guy being that undersized guard, can kind of slot into that spot. Maybe you put the ball in his hands more and just get him more comfortable playing that spot. And that's how he can get minutes here and find his way on the court as the team continues to get healthy. Because, again, he's been absolutely incredible over the last handful of games. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also hit us up on the text line where one of our texters just says, Happy New Year, Chris. Caleb Love was a steal. He's very tenacious, doesn't hesitate to make a play or a shot. He is my leader as of late for Chris's Crispy Crunch Time Awards. And you are spot on. You're definitely spot on. He's been good. I like the fact you mentioned he doesn't hesitate, and he's never seen a shot he doesn't like, as I say. And I think that's a good thing. That is a good thing because we've seen players before who get the yips, who don't like to shoot. Sometimes you can't even coach that into a guy. If he doesn't like to shoot, he doesn't want to shoot. But Caleb Love has never been that guy. So the fact that he's there and you can trust him to throw that ball up, is he going to make it every time? No. But over the last handful of games, he's been wildly consistent. So hopefully he can do that again tonight, because the Blazers are going to need it as they take on an Oklahoma City team that, according to ESPN's matchup predictor, is favored to win this one with a 90.7% chance of winning. Oklahoma City comes into this game at 28-5. But keep in mind that one of those 5 is at the hands of your Portland Trailblazers. So they have beat this Thunder team before. The Thunder, though, did run into their Achilles heel. They have found that the San Antonio Spurs are really, really good, and that Victor Wembanyama have come to the Spurs. That is also in their last 10 games as well. Have come to the Spurs. That is also in their last 10 games as well. The Oklahoma City Thunder have lost 4 of their last 10, 4 of their 5 losses on the season. One of those losses to Minnesota. We know Minnesota's a good team. And then 3 to San Antonio. So Oklahoma showing a little bit of, some weaknesses in that armor. No, I don't think they are at all. They're just playing really good teams, and San Antonio's phenomenal. We're talking about a San Antonio team that is currently second in the Western Conference, just 4.5 games behind that very same Oklahoma City Thunder team. Minnesota, 6 in the standings at 21-13, 7.5 back. So it's not as if they lost to completely poor teams. Of course, Portland being under 500 is that outlier, but it was an awesome win. It was an awesome victory. Speaking of awesome victories, for those of you dialed into El Paso and the Sun Bowl between the Sun Devils and the Blue Devils, Duke with the 42-39 victory after a late fumble by Arizona State gives Duke the chance to get on top, and they do. So shout out to the Blue Devils. Kenny Dillingham will be just fine, I assure you. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm at youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio, where Patrick says, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio, where Patrick says he's dominating in 2K. Okay, now you want to talk basketball games. You guys try to flood my conversation with football talk, and now you're here with basketball talk. Good job. Pat yourself on the back. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner. We're going to hear from head coach Tiago Splitter after that game against the who'd they play? Who'd they beat? The Mavericks. That's right. And we're also going to hear from Caleb Love, who we've talked a lot about, and Tumani Kamara as well. All coming up next on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620. Telephone number 88528 is the text line. And of course, you can head to youtube.com, type in Riff City Radio, and join the chat there. It is time now for the Coach's Corner. So let's head back to Moda Center just the other night. Hear what head coach Tiago Splitter had to say following that victory over Dallas.
Tiago, do you sense the team getting better or comfortable, however you want to describe it, in these clutch time situations? Do you feel like the tough ones you had earlier are finally starting to pay dividends?
Yeah, I think we're learning from them. We understand how to use the clock better. The foul situations, the no foul situations, like the last one, we couldn't foul. Of course, it would be a catch and shoot. It's all a learning experience for us. I think the decision making at the end of the game, it was good too. So, of course, we're going to make mistakes. They're going to make shots, but it's part of it.
How did you feel about the defensive execution for you guys down the stretch?
Not great, I would say. They were getting to the rim a lot of times, and then they went small. For a minute we have Rob there switching pick and roll. They still get to the rim. We have DC. Rob got to his minutes restriction, so we got DC back. He was under the rim. Marshall got an open shot over there, but it was a little bit what we will give up for those situations, and luckily he didn't make the shot. It's not ideal, but sometimes you gotta bet on something.
So how's your, as you coach through all these close games this season, how's your own heart rate doing? Is it stressful for you?
220 heartbeats per minute. 220.
Do you actually have that? Do you have an Apple Watch or something measure?
I won't even check it. Yeah.
You did a lot of kind of double big stuff. You used Rob and Hansen together, and then Rob and Donovan together. What did you see from that?
Historically, Rob is being good, playing with another five. So we just gave a chance to see if it works with us, and also we having a lot of wings and guards out. Just give a try and see how it goes. You have Hansen that can shoot a little bit from outside, and Rob rolling the rebound part of it, and Rob being dynamic and can also switch with small. So we try. Had a lot of guys out, so we got to try different things.
What did you like most about Caleb Love's?
Like always, he's not afraid. Knocking down shots, open up the paint for us. 2 huge free throws at the end. So he was tremendous offensively for us, and playing, trying hard on defense. Of course, he doesn't have the size to be like a supreme defender, but he's trying. He's giving his max, and that's what I like from him.
Has your maybe approach to how you use challenges evolved from when you first got the job?
Trying to not be emotional, and just take it, wait a little bit more and be sure. Sometimes there's a 50-50 call, and you're just lucky, Tonight I just saw on the screen, I saw he tripped, and I'm going for it. So that's it.
How did you feel like that swung the momentum in the game from that point?
Not sure. I mean, it's two free throws, right? Something else could happen. You never know, but of course it's good. You got to call back for us.
You're not going to put your own name in the box for that play?
No. It was Rupert tonight. I think, guys stepping up, have to do different things, and I think he brought energy for us that was necessary.
What did you think about your defense against Cooper Flag, 6-20, and then also on that last play?
I think we did an overall good job on him. Other guys play well, like Williams got to the rim too many times. Max Christie played well, shoot the ball well. So with Flag, I think we did a good job. Too many already. Again, I had too many fouls. I think we got to be smart with that. He got to understand that and just figure out this.
What was going through your mind when Clay released his shot?
I just begged him miss the shot because, we couldn't foul. I mean, I think Caleb contested the shot and somebody else, can't remember exactly who was it, but, you know, he's a great shooter, and he can hit that shot with the eyes closed. So a little bit of luck also is needed to win basketball games.
Thiago, do
And there you hear from head coach Tiago Splitter, and I think one of my fans asked him, do you have like an Apple Watch to monitor that? And he just laughs. Someone asked him, do you have like an Apple Watch to monitor that? And he just laughs, and he's like, no, I don't want to see that. But he knows that the heart rate was up. So yeah, he's in those clutch moments. I like the fact that he's kind of feeling that way. It means he's invested. That's the word I'm looking for, and I like that. And so, good performance from the team, and I think he had the team ready. And one thing I've liked about him as of late is you can see when the team isn't ready, that if they're in a situation where they have a turnover or they're not in the right spot defensively, he gets on them. I've seen him plenty of times, like yelling at Shaedon Sharp, telling him, come back over here, double team this guy. And I think you're starting to see those moments work, and they're starting to learn a little bit, which is really, really nice to see as this team gets better and better with him. And as you guys know, I've been on this train many a time. I love Tiago Splitter. I think he's doing a great job. You got to give the coaching staff credit as well as the man credit for the fact, too, that guys like Caleb Love have been stepping up and playing exceptionally well. I'm not even joking. I don't think the Blazers win these previous two games without Caleb Love. Caleb Love went off against Dallas for 24 points. Like we said, he hit 6 3-pointers, which I believe tied a career high. You go back to the Celtics game, and Caleb Love was 6 of 14, and he had 18 points off the bench and a couple clutch shots. And yeah, that wasn't 24, but still, it was nice to see him putting it together, getting those baskets. He had 14 points against the Clippers, not that 20 or more that we talked about, but coming off the bench and needing a guy to score, it was nice to see. He had 17 against Orlando. So he's starting to put it together, and he's earned some minutes here, especially with the team being just super, super banged up. And I love the fact that he's taking advantage of that. When opportunity knocks, you got to answer the door. And he's absolutely answered the door. So I want to take a chance to listen to Caleb Love here as well, because, again, he talked to the media after the game.
Does it just feel like any other game at this point? You guys are in basically almost every night.
Yeah, for sure. We treat every game as such. Every game is important to us, and I just think that we got our hard hats on down the stretch as far as like I said, executing, getting stops, and doing what we're supposed to do.
Was that moment when you guys sort of come together and discuss that plays, like when you guys felt like you were playing a little anxious, a little crazy?
It was one of the last timeouts. We just was like, let's regroup. I think it was 99, and we was like regroup. Let's get stops, let's string some stops along, and then let's get the best shot possible.
Then you got down 4 after that. But
It wasn't no panic, panic. We've been in those situations.
The last 2 games defensively, you guys have had also some big plays. What has been the key to that?
Just focus. Focus, I think, is a big thing, and then effort. We got a lot of guys that's great defensively. They can do multiple things on the court as far as guarding multiple guys, guarding different actions, and we got guys specifically to guard certain actions and things like that. So I think it was definitely a team defensive game, and like I said, down the stretch, we needed those stops.
Are you a guy who's like you're feeling it? Like it seems like you get hot, hit a bunch of shots, and then maybe not so much the next. Like, is that just how you roll, or are you feeling it?
No, I'm focused on just being consistent throughout every game, and I'm finding my groove, getting more comfortable out there on the floor. I'm playing a little bit more, and my focus is mainly on defense though. I got to be not the head of the snake, but as far as picking up full court, challenging guys at the rim, and just trying to do my best on that end to extend my minutes.
In light of some of the free throw issues y'all have had, was there a sigh of relief after you made yours tonight?
Yeah, man, I shoot too many free throws not to make those. Yeah. I shoot way too many. My mom would have killed me if I missed those.
You looked true. I mean, they looked good.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Did you think about those free throws from preseason? Remember you said it was AI?
Yeah, that was AI for sure. But I wasn't thinking about those misses. Those that happens. But I wanted to definitely come up big and make those free throws for sure.
Would your mom really text you?
Yeah, she would. She would call me. She would have called me and told me, "God honest." Like not so nice words.
Like tonight?
Yeah, she would have if I missed those.
What's she gonna do now? Is she gonna text or call you now?
Nah, I'm gonna call her and she gonna be happy.
She only calls you when you mess up.
Yeah. Well, she called me both.
Has she given you some calls this season about some
Yeah. That game that I missed those free throws against the Kings. Yeah, she was on me. So you better shoot 200 free throws tomorrow. Yeah, she's.
You'd probably rather face an angry Tiago than an angry mama.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
that
sure.
was a hesitation.
I haven't seen Tiago really angry. I don't think nothing worse than my mom, though.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you.
How could you not love Caleb Love? No pun intended. That is amazing. Like going in on the talk about how mom would be mad at me if I missed those free throws. She would have texted me, you better be in the gym, son, hitting 200 of those tomorrow because we can't be having that. I just love that. Also, shout out to all the basketball moms. One thing all these basketball stars have, man, is you got Dame's mom, KD's mom. Like everybody knows a basketball mom. They'll get on you, and I love it though. Absolutely love it. Always watching, always supporting, and you're definitely supporting. If you can't be missing those free throws in that clutch situation, son. We gotta work on that. I'm gonna be at the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna be your rebounder if you don't have one. I absolutely love that. Also, speaking of support systems, shout out to my daughter. My wife texted me that she's watching on YouTube and told mom that she liked my video. Good job, kid. Help the algorithm out. Help dad out. I like that a lot. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhart. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhart. You can also go to youtube.com and like the video, share, subscribe. Do they still say that? Just go to YouTube, type in Rip City Radio, and we'll pop up. You can also hit us up on the brand new Rip City Radio text line. Just text 88528 to get your conversation heard there. We're going to take a break here on Game Day. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this Oklahoma City Thunder team to see what the Blazers can expect. And I know most of us know exactly what to expect because this team is pretty dang good. San Antonio's been their Achilles heel, but Portland has beaten them once. Hard to replicate that magic, but we'll see what can happen. This is Blazers Game Day on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We are getting you ready for Blazers versus Thunder. The Blazers taking on, boy howdy, a very, very good, to say it lightly, Oklahoma City Thunder team. Oklahoma City coming into this game with a 28-5 record. That is the best record in the NBA. The second best record in the NBA is the Detroit Pistons at 25-8, and then both the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs are at 23-9. Those are the four teams in the league right now who have yet to experience double digits in the loss column. Now, look at the other side of that. The Oklahoma City Thunder have 5 losses. That's almost as many wins as the Indiana Pacers have, who sit currently at 6-28, the worst team in the NBA record-wise. So the Blazers aren't playing the Pacers today, though. They are playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. As I said, they have won 2, but 5 losses on the season, and 4 of them have come in their last 10 games. So if you sat there and you said, holy smokes, 80% of their losses over the last 2 weeks, they must be falling apart. And the answer to that would be absolutely not. They are not falling apart. They just have lost 3 of those 4 in their last 10. That's a lot of math there. To the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs have been absolutely incredible this year. Victor Wembanyama is unreal. He is so darn good. And you look at those games too. It was a close one, 111-109 in favor of San Antonio on December 13th. On December 23rd, it was a blowout, 130-110. And then on Christmas Day, it was another blowout, 117-102, all in favor of San Antonio. Minnesota beat Oklahoma City in a close one, 112-107. Prior to that, you got to go all the way back to my birthday and Bill Walton's birthday, November 5th, when the Blazers stormed back from a early first quarter deficit and grabbed a 121-119 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder, ending their win streak and handing them their first loss of the season. So, can the Blazers do it again? Can they be like San Antonio and get a second win over the Oklahoma City Thunder? That's going to be hard because, as we said, Oklahoma City has been absolutely incredible. And what makes them so tough is that they beat you in a multitude of ways, no matter who plays, no matter who's ready to go. It could be Shea's night. It could be Lou Dort's night. It could be Chet Holmgren's night. Anybody could get ready and get going. As for Oklahoma City, when it comes to next man up, they are dealing with a few injuries. Jiang is out, dealing with a calf injury. He's been ruled out. Jalen Williams has been ruled out, also dealing with a heel injury. And then Isaiah Hartenstein, who can give the Blazers fits because he's so aggressive down low, good on the glass. He is out against Portland with a left soleus strain. So more, calf issues going around here around the NBA. That's what sidelined our man Drew Holiday for so long. But even without those guys, you're looking at an Oklahoma City Thunder team that still is absolutely stacked. They have one of the best players in the entire planet in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who has been lighting up the scoreboard everywhere they go. Chet Holmgren is a 5-tool player. He can do just about everything you need him to do. And you look at the last game they played, it was a 140-129 victory over the Atlanta Hawks. And in that game, it was, again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes out there and does his thing. He had 39 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Chet Holmgren had 24 points, 9 rebounds. Lou Dort had 6 points. Jalen Williams, the other one, had 20 points. Kassan Wallace had 17 points as well. Alex Caruso, 16 points off of the bench. And then when I say Jalen Williams, the other one, keep in mind that the Jalen Williams that is playing is the better of the 2 Jalen Williams. So that will factor into what the Blazers have to deal with tonight as well. He is averaging 17.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on the season. And so with this team in particular, you've seen teams come in and you know where you got to go, how you got to pick your poison. Okay, look at that Dallas game, last game. You knew going in that Cooper Flagg has been playing really, really good basketball. He was going to be their guy. You also knew that PJ Washington torched you last time they played you. You were able to get PJ Washington off his game. You were really able defensively to knock Cooper Flagg off his game. And then Brandon Williams and the bench guys were able to get going because your focus was elsewhere. We've said that before. Focus on these guys. Let the rest of the guys do what they do. If they, if they get going, they get going. But don't waver off your main focus. That's a lot harder tonight because even though you look at that Dallas game, Brandon Williams went off and Marshall went off and Thompson had 14 points. This is a Oklahoma City team that is just so much deeper. That makes it absolutely tough to deal with because you could say, okay, we're going to focus on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but then Jalen Williams will go off. We can focus on Chet Holmgren, but then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes off. And you look at their three best players, which would be Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Chet Holmgren. But if you focus all on that, you don't know because Lou Dort, who only had 6 points, he can score. He can hit that three. He could get going. Cason Wallace could get going. Alex Caruso can find it. Isaiah Joe is known to have a hot night now and then. So you just really picking your poison is hard to do because every single one of them is potent. So for the Blazers, you got to go back to that victory and play like you did in the second half. And in the second half of that game, that's when you start clawing back from the big deficit you put yourself into, and we're somehow able to get that victory. The Blazers were outscored 41-21 in the first quarter. And then they held Oklahoma City to just 21 points in the third, outscored them 40-33 in the fourth. That's where they got that 121-119 victory. And again, Isaiah Hartenstein was massive on the glass in that game. He had 11 rebounds. Chet Holmgren didn't play. Aaron Wiggins, who we haven't even talked about, went off. He had 27 points. He was the second leading scorer. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 35. A.J. Mitchell, who we haven't talked about, he went off. He had 21. Isaiah Joe had 14. They were able to get going. It was just the Blazers slowed them down, and then the offense started to get going. So taking a look there, you don't have Jeremy Grant, who is dealing with his injury. So he had 20 points in that game. You don't have Drew Holiday, who had 22 points in that game. So you have to figure out what your poisons are going to be. So you need Denny Avdia to have a big game. You need Donovan Clingan, who had 7 points and 8 rebounds in that game. You really need him to play like he's been playing as of late. That 15-point, 12-rebound type game, or the nights where he's getting you 18 boards and you're like, yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. You need him to step up. And then realistically, you need Shaedon Sharpe to be efficient, and you need another solid outing from Caleb Love tonight to really put yourself in a good position to beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Because like I said, they are not only the best in the league this year, it's quite frankly one of the best teams that the NBA's seen. They are up there with the Warriors and the Jordan Bulls, and just an absolute dominant team right now. So you have to be on your A game. The Blazers were on their A game for 3 quarters in that first matchup, but it was still enough. So get going and absolutely tear the roof off. And Donovan Clingan had 18 and 11 against Dallas, which was obviously a big performance. In the game before that, 18 points, 18 rebounds, 7 on the offensive glass. So again, they're going to have Chet Holmgren, but with no Isaiah Hartenstein, who is a glass cleaner. It's going to be guys like Robert Williams and Donovan Clingan who really have to step up. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can join the conversation. Just head on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, or you can text us on the text line. Just text 88528. And where one of our texters says, Coward in Memphis has looked really good. Isn't that a guy that Portland was going to draft or could have drafted? What are your thoughts? Well, here's the thing. The draft is what it is. Portland could have had that position. That was 2020. I think people scratched their head at that move and are still scratching the head at the move. And it's 2020. I think people scratched their head at that move and are still scratching the head at the move. And, Cedric Coward could have been the guy and would have been a nice piece to have on this team. But also, if this team were fully healthy, when you do have he's playing forward and you have Jeremy Grant, Tumani Kamara, Denny Avdia, and you haven't even mentioned Matisse Thybulle in that conversation as well. So where does he fit in? Maybe his playing time just forces you to put him on the floor, which is kind of the case, but you don't know how that all plays out. it's all hindsight, unfortunately. I do know there was a lot of people at the time who did like him. But the Young Hansen one was more like, hey, we don't know the future of Robert Williams. Yes, Donovan Klingen's our guy, but if we can draft for depth, we need it. Didn't need another guard. They went and got one with the undrafted route, which was smart. I do think going forward definitely would have been smart too. You definitely would have been a logjam, but if you draft good guys who force the guys you do have to the bench, that's not a problem. Not a problem at all. But yeah, they definitely could have had him. All right, we're going to take a break here on Game Day. When we come back, we're going to hit you with our keys to the game. I know we just talked about it. We're going to dial it in, what the Blazers need to do to beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team. We'll let you know when we return from break here in your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Time now for our keys to the game. Like the intro said, what do the Blazers need to do to get a victory tonight over the Oklahoma City Thunder? Well, we're going straight to the glass, all right? And we need to clean it. It's a little murky. I can't see through it. Get out, Mr. Clean. Go to work, because this game, much like that game against Dallas, will be decided on the glass. We talked about it during that game that it was going to be strength on strength. Dallas came in to the game as a top 5 defensive rebounding team. Portland also a top 5 offensive rebounding team. So which one of those was going to excel more? And Portland had a very, very good game on the offensive glass. 17 offensive rebounds of their 48 total rebounds. They won that rebound battle 48-41. And Dallas had just 33 defensive rebounds. And Portland was able to get the control that way, and that allowed, obviously, the second chance points and all those things that lead to victories in the end. So you had to give them some favor there. They won the second chance point battle 26-11, so a 15-point difference, and that is massive. Now tonight you're getting a similar situation, just only a little bit harder, as Oklahoma City comes in as the number 1 defensive rebounding team in the NBA at 35.2. And the Blazers are number 2 on the offensive glass at 14.2. So back to what we said earlier, Donovan Clingan, Robert Williams, Tumani Kamara, we've seen Shaedon Sharp get in there as well. We need to go to work as a team on the offensive glass. In that game against Dallas, you had 4 from Donovan Clingan, 4 from Sidy Cissoko, 2 from Shaedon Sharp, 2 from Caleb Love, 3 from Robert Williams. Everybody was chipping in on the offensive glass. So you're going to need that tonight against Oklahoma City, because if they get going on the defensive side, they're also a team like Portland who likes to push that tempo and push the tempo quickly. Well, use your strength, which in this case is offensive rebounding, to slow them down the best you can. Also, if you are the Blazers, it's similar to the Celtics game. You're getting a little bit of these previous two opponents wrapped into one, where the Celtics came in number 1 in the league in turnovers per game, as in the fewest turnovers per game. They only averaged 12.2, and the Blazers were able to force 10 of them in the first half alone. Boston ended the night with 20. Oklahoma City comes into this one number 2 in the NBA at 12.6. So just like that game, you're going to want to force the issue, give them those sloppy turnovers, and hopefully get them over their season average to put yourself in a good spot. On the other side of that, if you go back to that Celtic game, a lot of the turnovers that the Blazers had, Blazers come in averaging 17 of them in that game, and they came in and had 16 in the first half alone. And the Blazers are dead last in the league at turnovers per game. So they turn over the ball a lot. You need to be real smart, because in that Celtics game, a lot of those turnovers were lazy and unforced. Just a half-hearted pass, or a guy was open on the left side, but you passed to the guy covered on the right, and it was a steal. Really, really lazy. Well, Oklahoma City, they're going to force the issue, because they come in averaging 10.3 steals per game, which is number 2 in the NBA. So again, like that Celtics game, where you want to be putting the pressure on defensively to make them work, you have to be extra, extra cautious with how you move the ball on offense, because any of those lazy passes, any of those I'm not paying attention, so here's a 50% effort pass, those will be swiped up. That will turn in 2 points off turnovers. Then Oklahoma City will win that battle, and you will be hurting at the end of the day. So you have to be really, really smart with how you approach it there, because if you give them freebies, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. So that's kind of where I'm leaning on this one. Be aggressive on the offensive glass. Be very, very aggressive in the defensively. Be judicious with the ball. Now, you go back to the last game they played that they lost. They were very good on the offensive glass. They had 8 steals. They still turned the ball over 16 times, which was around their average. But the difference in the game between that and the victory earlier, they shot only 25% from 3, 37% from the floor. So you got to shoot the ball well. You go back to the victory, they shot over 40% on both. Shoot the ball well, play good defense, Sounds simple. Those stats tell me you can win this game, though. All right, we're going to get out of here, but you're not, because coming up next, across your Trailblazers Audio Network, Chad Doing has your Trailblazers pregame show. And then, of course, tip-off at 5 o'clock, Travis Demers on the call. When it's all said and done, keep it locked in here to Rip City Radio for the 5th quarter, or hopefully we're breaking down a Trailblazers victory before we ring in the new year. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.